Welcome back to A Game of Fangs and Thrones. My name's Hannah, and this is my slightly delayed, as always, weekly catch-up. So this is for the last week of January, and I read more than I thought I did, actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I read 6 books, 2 comics, 3 middle grade, and 1 YA. And I like this angle, I can reach the books. But anywho, this was the book I read for the YA. This is Honey and Issue's Guide to Fake Dating. 2 Bengali girls arrange to fake date, and then in the way of most fake dating schemes, plots, or whatever you want to call them, turns out they do actually have feelings for each other, and I love this. It dealt with, obviously I can't speak for the representation, but we have Honey, who is the popular girl. She comes out to her friends as bisexual, and they don't believe her. They think she's just questioning, and they think it's a ploy to get out of the blind dates that they keep putting her onto. And Honey is Muslim, and she's very faith driven. She goes to the mosque, she likes to read her Quran, but she doesn't feel like she could be her part. She can't really be that person with her friends. But then on the flip side, we have Issue, or Ashita, which I think has such a pretty name, and she is an academic overachiever. Her parents are first generation immigrants, I believe, and they put so much pressure onto Issue and her sister to become doctors, become successful, and that is something that I think is stereotypical. Again, I can only go by what I've heard in the media, seen portrayed. I can't speak for own voices, but I think that is something that is very common with these kinds of families, these kinds of relationships, because they have nothing, so they've seen the struggle, so they want their children to succeed. And for a lot of parents, so, happiness, wealth, all of that boils down to success, and being in medicine is probably one of those careers that can do that. So I gave this 5 stars. I absolutely adored it. I was frustrated with the characters in the best way. It's weird how when you talk about books and you say I was frustrated and we like it. But anywho, actually I think I finished that yesterday. Either way, I finished that yesterday, I think, but it counts for the end of the month, right? But then I read volumes 2 and 3 of Sandman by Neil Gaiman, which are here somewhere. And I gave them both a 4-star. Now, it is volume 2 and 3, so I can't really talk too much about the plot, but I remember that volume 3 dealt with historical figures. We had William Shakespeare throughout the ages, Christopher and Kit Marlowe was there briefly, as well as another character who I think was made up for the story, who makes a one-sided deal to not die, basically, and Dream keeps visiting him. So I'm giving them both a 4-star. Then we have my little middle grade madness section, and they are just out of shot here and here, and then the other one is somewhere, and they were The Strange Worlds Travel Agency by Aeldia Lipinski. The Thief Who Sang Stars by Sophie Anderson, and Onyenka and the Academy of the Sun by Tola Okogwu. I am so sorry if I mispronounced that. Please someone correct me in the comments. But basically, I gave them 4 stars. I'm not the target audience for these books, so I don't feel bad for not loving them, because I'm not intended to love them, if that makes sense. I mean, occasionally it has been known to happen that I do love a middle grade, but for whatever reason I couldn't get into it, I couldn't relate, what have you, and they all got 4 stars. Now, Strange Worlds Travel Agency by Aeldia Lipinski is the story of Flick, who moves to a new town, and she's basically left to her own devices. Her parents aren't negligent or cruel or anything like that. They just have a lot on their plate, and they see Flick as being old enough and mature enough to take care of herself from time to time. But I gave it a 4 stars. There was just something that I can't quite put my finger on that I didn't love. I think it was Jonathan, to be fair. I didn't really like him very much. He was whiny. And then we have The Thief Who Sang Storms by Sophie Anderson. This one I really wanted to love because I've loved the other 3 that she's written, but it just wasn't it. Maybe I put too much pressure on it, but we follow, what's her face? I am terrible with names. This is when everything falls on me. Lynette. We follow Lynette, who was like this half bird, half human creature, and she lives on the island of Morovia with humans and bird people. And there is an accident on a Unity Day, which is supposed to celebrate the humans and the Alkenosts, who are the bird people, coming together, but something happens to the ship that the royals are on, and the humans blame the Alkenists, and they are banished, basically. I loved Lynette. She was feisty and incredibly hopeful for what she's gone through, but there's just something I couldn't get behind. I think the writing was slightly different, and I just didn't really gel with it. Oh, but can we put this back without them falling? Yes, we can, and we did. Right, so there's also Onyenka and the Academy of the Sun, and I love this premise. Onyenka has a lot of hair, and that hair literally has a mind of its own, and that is her superpower. She finds out that she is one of the Solari, who are a famed superhero type subset of human, I want to say, but they aren't. I think subset's the wrong word, but they are mutations of humanity. They have these special powers, and Onyenka discovers that she is one of them, and that her father was also one, and he was working on a top secret project for the Nigerian government, and he has gone missing, presumed dead, unfortunately, I think. Again, 4 stars are just something I couldn't get behind, which was a shame, but you know, can't win them all. And it was an enjoyable read. I will probably reread it at some point, but because it is the... Oh, and I do have 4 books I've purchased, but we'll do that in their own separate videos, because I am continuing with read 9 by 1 to try and curb that enthusiasm. The Kindle Unlimited books don't count, and books I don't buy myself don't count. But the beginning of the month, I did do a video, like a TBR video, for the Great Bookish TBR off, and then you'll know if you've been following these videos that I kind of gave up on the TBR and just read whatever. So we're going to see if any of the books that I ended up reading fit the prompts, and I have no idea, so we will figure this out together. So TBR vet, well, I had Ghosts of the Shadow Market down, which I did read. Well, I DNF'd, and Fever Dream by George R. R. Martin. I didn't get to Fever Dream, but I think, apart from Sandman, all of the other books, and Nevermore, because that was a reread, all of the other books were on my TBR prior to this. I think that's a point in my favour. A book you meant to get to in 2022. I had that down on the list as The Last House on Needless Street, which I didn't get to, but The Atlas 6, Ghosts of the Shadow Market, Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky, Heartstopper. For the Throne, I think I did, because I got that on holiday. So they all count for that one. Read a book with a winter theme / cover. The only one I can think of... Oh, hang on. There was Ice Planet Barbarians. And Silent Kingdom had a bit of a snowy theme to it. Continue a series where we have Heartstopper, Volume 4, and for the Throne, Ghosts of the Shadow Market. I know it's a DNF, but I'm counting it. And yep, read from your favourite genre. Pretty much all of these, apart from Honey and Issues, Changeling, and Ice Planet Barbarians, and possibly the Atlas 6, all count for fantasy. And so got that one. A book outside of your comfort zone. I don't think I managed that one because, again, I was mood reading. I think, let's say, Ice Planet Barbarians for that one, because I gave it a 3-star. And I don't normally do alien, and I don't really do erotica, so that one counts. I do sci-fi, just not alien porn. A book with a cold character, for example, Morally Grey. I think Atlas 6 definitely. And possibly Onyanka in the Academy of the Sun, as there is a character in that one that starts off quite cold and distant towards Onyanka, but he warms up to her in the end. And read a short book under 300 pages. Sandman, I'm counting that one. I think Heartstopper is probably over. What did I have for that one? Lock and Keep, I didn't get to that. And then there's also the year-long readathon that G at Book Roast is hosting, which is The Adventure in Aeldia. And that was the prompt for that one was to start the series. So, I put down Ice Planet Barbarians. I did start it, I might finish it, I might continue, who knows, because they're on Kindle Unlimited. And they're not exactly my taste, but they are okay, I guess. I did start Silent Kingdom, but again, that's a 3-star. It is on Kindle Unlimited, so maybe. Zodiac Academy, yes, I'm definitely continuing with that. And then The Strange Worlds Travel Agency by L.D. Lipinski. And something about Anyanka in the Academy of the Sun makes me think it's going to be a series. I haven't checked yet, but I think that's going to be that. And in terms of writing this week, I don't think I've got much done. I did finish chapter 1, and our main characters, Hunter and Riley, have had their introduction, and I think some of the witchy plot elements are going to come into it a little bit, start to come into a little bit more. And I think that's it for this video. Next video hopefully will be a Sunday wrap up, a weekly wrap up again, because I quite like doing these, you know, just sitting talking about what I'm reading and doing and whatnot. So apologies that this is a couple of days late, but it is what it is. And with this, I shall love you all and leave you. So give this video a like if you like it, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see this. Talk about not the deodorant, these, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.